Hello, good afternoon. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms that are out there. I just want to check and see. So far, we've got one person on. Can you hear me and see me okay? Always like to do a check to make sure. I know there's a little bit of a delay. So I just want to check and make sure you guys can hear me and see me okay. All right, so let me type it in as well. Can you hear me and see me? Okay. So welcome to everybody. If you guys have not already done it, call your mom, call anyone and everyone that you know, reach out and share some love on Mother's Day. Thank you, Gannon. And I want to let you know I had an awesome gift. I got to give a shout out to some local producers here. Chocolat Favori. I absolutely love chocolate. So I got a chocolate fondue, chocolate roasted almonds. I got caramel and sea salt chocolate. And then original dark chocolate. So I'm a chocoholic for anyone that knows me. So super excited to get the chocolate. Totally could have turned that around. So, you know, this week has definitely been a little bit tough for me. I think we're going on 2 months now, 60 days of quarantine up here. Have 2 little kids, and I think it was Wednesday. I was just like, I just need my space. So I can sympathize with everybody that's out there. My little girls, I love them to death. But this week, honestly, they were just a little too clingy, like in, what was it, Wedding Crashers, stage 5 clingers, literally just like piled on top of me. I just needed a little bit of personal space, a little bit of personal energy. Thanks, Ram. Thanks for asking. I'm answering you right now. So for me, this week was a little bit tough, but I know that it's coming to an end, and you know, it hits home when you have a refrigerated truck as an extra morgue that's less than 5 miles away from your house. But then I started looking at the stats of the coronavirus, COVID-19 up here in Montreal, and I started looking, okay, hey, you know, we have 1.78 million residents in Montreal, and the total number that have contracted it is roughly 16,000. And out of those 16,000, 1,400 have passed away. Still an abnormally large number, but when you look at it over the overall general population, we had about 1% get sick so far, and 1/10 of that have passed away. And up here, they're really only testing the people that are sick because they don't have enough tests for everybody. So the numbers are definitely looking higher for the people that are infected based on who they're testing. But looking at the numbers, thinking about that, it makes me feel a little bit better. I'm still being super safe. And they were going to open schools up here on the 18th of May. They've pushed that back to the 25th of May. And we have thought we're just going to keep the girls home because for now, until a little bit more time has passed and there's more knowledge, we would prefer to keep them safer with us. So I hope you guys are all, oh, you know what, Ram? You know what? I like to play around with my background for sure, and I felt like being in a garden today. We actually have had snow the past 3 days, and it feels like we should have these nice flowers blooming, but I'm wearing my scarf because it's actually really cold up here, so I was messing around with that. So let me go ahead and get the list set up. We've got it. Let me change the screens here. And if you guys have any questions about any stocks, just go ahead and let me know. I'm going to shrink this a little bit, and we'll do a little bit of a split screen here so you guys can see. We'll build the list, and then we will go ahead and I'll work on the list. I'll make it full screen for you guys. We'll just shrink it for now while I build the list on the side. And just a second while it I also wanted to let you guys know two things. So the dark pools, if any of you guys are interested about learning about trading around the dark pools, definitely changed my trading style, and amazing because you get to see what the really big guys are doing. And so we have some great things going on. We do have the training pit, which is really a great place to come as a newer trader or learning about the dark pool if you are a more experienced trader. And then the Java Pit's really like a super experienced trader place. And there's also a boot camp that's coming up on the 18th. Another great place to go is Trade Ideas. They are, let's see, I think it's, I got to do Trade-Ideas. They are having a 20% off sale today. So check them out, and also the link is below if you guys want to use that in the description. You can also go right there, and they also have a test drive that's coming up right here, May 11th through 22nd. So all of that content and links will be down below, so just check it out, easy to get to. All right, we've got the SPY up. Man, it's really slow today. Oh, I have too many drawings, it doesn't like it. All right, no worries. So let's go to the Sunday list and let's check out, let's just look really quickly at the ones I had last week, right? So let's put on the daily chart. Let's get rid of some of the messiness that will, there we go. All right, so I had this on the watch list last week, and sure enough, it had a spike on Monday. Then it pulled back. You can see back to the moving averages, and now potential move to the upside again. We've got band. Look at that. That was a nice long right off the bat for the week. 2 ink. Again, another nice long right off the bat. So you can see some of these, people ask me, Jane, is your watch list a swing watch list or a day trading watch list? I would say you can definitely use it for both, right? You could use this for potential targets just for the day, but then look at the chart. What's the chart telling you, right? We also had Amazon. Amazon was on my list and moved up nicely for this week. Microsoft as well moved up from those levels. On Mondays and on Fridays on my channel, 12:45, you will see I will be streaming in association with Ticker Talker. So come back every Monday, 12:45, and Fridays at 12:45 as well. Apple is on the list today. Let's check out Hearn. So Hearn was a good short. And WDC. WDC had a doji day with high volume, and then once it broke above, now it's looking fairly bullish. So let's clean this up. And yes, Ron, we had snow. John, the subscription fee does not include both rooms. They are two separate ones because the Java Pit is so advanced that we realized, Stephanie realized, hey, you know what? We really need a place for people that don't understand even what a stock is. We've had some people come in, they didn't even know what a stock was. So having the ability to have a beginner's room, beginner exposure to the dark pools is great, and then people can progress forward. There's a lot of the same attributes in that you do get the dark pool alerts in the training pit. You have 24/7 access. You have access to the 4 trainers that are in there. I'm one of the 4 in there. And you have access to our emails to ask us questions whenever you guys have a question. So it's a great place. No, Ram, I do not use TradeStation. This is TradingView. You can see it right here. All right, so let's go ahead. Blue, Apple, Beyond, Eat, Some, LM, BKNG. Whoops, helps when you spell it correctly. BKNG. Netflix, Disney, and I'll give you guys a little disclaimer as well. I did have my Series 2 back in 2000. It is no longer current, so please know that these are all my personal opinions. Please do your own due diligence in trading, as you know, you want to be able to know the risk that you're getting into it with. I also have some awesome videos about learning to trade, and I'm updating those I'll be adding 2 more this week, all about paper trading and brokers for different countries as well to check out. And know that trading all sorts of securities instruments do have varying degrees of risk, and that no past performance is indicative of future performance. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get rock and rolling. So we have the SPY right here. I have this box that I drew because I'm really looking for a break above or a break below. Right now, we're just going sideways. So sideways price action on an index can be difficult to trade. Last time that we really went sideways for a longer period of time, you can tell, was up here. So definitely keeping on watch because there's some dark pool activity that we are seeing, but there's not a definitive move at this point in time. I mean, the chart will tell you that in itself. Right here, yes, price action up at the top, very narrow, and then boom, it broke down. Yes, we came right back down. More price action here on the way up, here on the way up, and right here. We also had this area when we went down. So watching this, I'm sorry about the orange lines. I keep trying to get TradingView to make them so I can change the color. But looking at it for now on the indexes, I would say I really would like to see it break above the top of this box. So break above 294, which when we went into the after hours, right, it was coming up close to it. I do have an alert line right there. But after hours, we were right here. Let's go. Right? We're so close. We could go ahead and break above it, but looking back at this time frame, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trading days, 11 trading days now, where this has just really gone sideways for the most part. It is a big range between 294 and 283 or 280, but it is still going in that sideways motion. So, oops, I don't want to go to 2300, 230 is what I want. So looking for that to really go ahead and make a definitive move one way or the other for the SPY. And we'll go ahead and we will check out Qs. So the Qs, I really like the 45-minute chart. We are getting close. We are only 12 points off of the top. Right? I have this upper trend line that I drew. You can see a channel right here, upper channel. We didn't come back up and test it. And now we are holding below this channel line. It's acting as resistance. When we go to our daily, you can see we're coming up and we're testing this resistance right here. So I'm actually going to draw a little alert there. Hey, I want to know if it's going to break above 225.66. Right? Then the next test after that would likely be right here at 228.30 to the upside. And remember, where were we in the history going back? This was in January, just before we had that little bit of a sell-off, and then all the way up here at the top with the sell-off that happened in February when the market corrected, right? So now we're on our way up, we're climbing that hill back up, and you guys have heard me talk about it before. The short volume has been pretty steady. People are shorting the indexes, not so much the stocks, but they're shorting the indexes, and it's driving the price action up because they're thinking the market has to drop. Great quote from Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, right? So know that the trend right now is bullish. Read the charts. Block out the noise of the news. And you will see that this looks like a bullish chart, right? Even my 3-year-old daughter says, hey, mommy, that's going up. Teaching her trends right now while she's home. Why not, right? Even maybe going to make a coloring book. We'll see. On the Russell, you guys see this right here? Potential cup and handle. If we break that 135 area, potential. We're not there yet, but it could be setting up like that. We do have that 50 simple moving average right here. We are above it. The moving averages are up, and we're in that momentum curling up. It ended strong on the day on Friday, higher than normal volume. We might go on up here and test this moving average of 139. The market is always going to decide. We've had erratic movements with earnings that are happening, and we are still in the midst of earnings season. And you can see down here we had that trend line of the top from September of 2019, and that's right where we bounced in the past. So will we go ahead and test the trend line up here, 150, and then move down? We'll see. All right, potential longs. You guys can see glue rocked it. Okay, glue has 126 million in the float, and it was short volume 48% on Friday. So let's pull it back onto a 15-minute chart. It is fairly extended away from the moving averages, and I would really look, I'm going to say I don't want to see it hold at 960 level, and I want to see it break out resistance above 1060. So it is a big area to watch, but it had a big move, and it could very well pull back, right? You can see, I love when the charts line up like this. I didn't look back at this, but look at that. Top of January of 2019, we had a head and shoulders setup build up there, and that was right at that 960 level. And then looking at 1060, hey, look, we had a bit of support here, support here, support here, support here. So looking for that to break. If we do break that area of 1128 on up to 1160 up here, and again, a bit of a cup and handle. Let's see the target off of this. You guys see it right here, down here. Let's add that to the handle. So we had 437 off of 835. We're looking at 1272, so rough target, which would put us right on up here, right? So it might have a potential $2 move to the upside before we see that sell off further. All right, so 960 and 1060. All right, let's go to Apple. You guys know, you've heard me talk about Apple before as one of the major players in the indexes. I did talk about it on Monday on Ticker Talker that, hey, I said, you know, we had earnings, it came up, it tested this trend line, but we would need it to really break with higher volume. So it broke and the volume came in. Now there is a dividend May 8th, so that happened on May 8th for our ex-dividend date, and it continued to the upside. So still a bullish move there. And I want to see that area right here, 308, will hold, and a breakout. Let's pull this back down. 310.80. I'm going to go ahead and make that 80. If you guys want to learn more about TradingView, I do have a video all about that, about setting it up and stuff like that. So right here, looking back, again, support, right before we broke down. So we're hitting that area where we saw a lot of stocks in the past, right before we had the sell-off. We are testing those areas again, right? We have this consolidation distribution box up here, really from here on over. Oh, no, I don't want it down there. I want this up here. Yeah. Right there, right? So once it broke down below here, boom, it fell down to the bottom, right? So looking for that to see if it's going to break that level, 315.61, right? We're here, 315, crossing up. If we break above that, maybe they're going to load up and sell some more to ride it back down again. So these big guys are really in control of the market, and seeing where they have their volume going is going to give you an indication of where that money is flowing, right? So let's go back here. So we had 308 and 310.80. All right, let's go look at Beyond. Beyond was rocking it, and I was checking it out. I had this on my watch list this week. I do offer a newsletter on Ticker Talk as well of my daily watch list, and also break it down like this every single morning. So if you guys are curious, where is the red one? It's all right. So I want to see 130.20 hold for support. And when we pull it back on the year, you can see, hey, look, this tested resistance in the past. If we go ahead and break this resistance, heading on up to 140, then on up here, 146, potentially 154, 160. So we might have a nice $25 move to the upside in the week coming. This does have 30 million in the float, so it is lower float overall. And you know, 20 is really the what I really consider low float, but they had an offering. They added an additional 10 shares. It was 20 million at the initial IPO. And now we have higher than normal volume after earnings, and we're at a breakout point. So definitely one to keep on watch. If it could really break this 168, 170 level, then we could be going back up and testing those 200s fairly quickly. All right, let's check out EAT. So EAT, let me remove the other drawings on here. Got a little mini cup and handle right there on the 15-minute chart. All right. I just added this. Actually, I was doing a one-on-one coaching session, and one of my students was there, and she's like, hey, Jane, what's this high-low for the pivots? And I was like, I don't know. Let me check it out. And I put it on, and it draws the highs, which I like. So I put it on my chart, too. All right, so we have EAT right here. Now, EAT is obviously related to the food industry. Came down, had massive, massive volume right here, right at that $20 mark, and curled above the averages. The averages came together, curled above, had earnings, shot up. We're above the 50 simple moving average. So looking for potential tests this week of that 25 range if we can break above 22.80. So 21.80 for support and 22.80 for resistance. This does have 36.8 million in the float. Another one, the next one up on the list, which I forgot to look at the float, Summit Materials. So 113.5 million for Summit Materials. All right, so let's go ahead and pull Summit up. So we had earnings. We are testing that 50 simple moving average right here. This one really caught my eye because of this crazy volume that's going on right here. 4.65 million. When was the last time that we had that? Way back here, back in December of 2018, which happened to be at the top. So are we at another top, or could this potentially be moving to the upside? We will see, but for now, that really caught my attention. Pay attention to those crazy volume spikes, right? And look to see, all right, so here we're on a 15-minute chart, right? It was right here on this candlestick and this candlestick. Where are we? We're above that right now. So is it going to stay above that? Don't know. But for now, we're above it. And I'm actually going to put it right down here at the low of this candlestick, because when it dropped down below here, the buying power brought it up. Now it hit the 50 simple moving average. Actually, that's the 200 on the 15-minute, and it sold off. So looking to see, but that volume is a big indication of a move that's going to happen, right? Something is going on with this. Maybe it'll be a buyout. Maybe people are also going to be building things in the upcoming months with renovations. People might be buying homes that, foreclosures and building stuff. We don't know the reason, don't really care, But looking at the chart, it catches my eye, right? When you see, hey, look, last time we had a big move down here, moved all the way up, and then there was selling up here and selling up here, and then it slowly moved down, boom, and now it's crossed above the 50 simple moving average. Maybe it's a computer that's set up to buy. I don't know. I see the volume, I'm paying attention to it. Another one in the building sector that has had big volume was nail. I've had this one on my list and watching for it to really break above here. This could have a big move back to the upside, the home builder supply. So just a side note on that one, just for longer term swing potentially. All right, let's look at potential shorts. So Legg Mason. Legg Mason had massive volume up here, pulled back, came back down to the 50 simple moving average, bounced on that day, and back up here again. It's not going anywhere really quickly, but when you pay attention that it hit that resistance right up here at 50 and it hasn't been able to break it. So really looking for this one to go ahead and make a move. It doesn't have a big move, but look, again, bigger than normal volume. And we happen to be at the top up here. Things that make you go, with the chart, right? So looking for it to break that 49.98, or let's go ahead and have it break down. Let's have it break down even. We'll give it a little bit more space, 49.80 down here, and we'll change that color, right? But when you see it, and all of a sudden you say, all right, we see some more volume up at the top. Let's pay attention. Bring out that little magnifying glass on that chart. Pay attention to it. See what's going to happen. Set up some alerts. I'm actually going to put it at 50 on my list. Just something, you see it, you come back and then come up to that resistance area and you start to see volume and we're below it. So just keep it on watch. That's why we have watch lists, right? For potential moves. All right, booking. So how many of you guys are out there planning trips right now? How many? I'm not. The borders are closed for us. Okay, I'm not thinking of it because we can't even go anywhere. I'd love to go and see my family back in the States. They'd probably let me if it was an emergency. But for now, we can't really go anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and put it the whole dollars. So $13.96. Actually, let's bring it back down a little bit further. $13.95. Let me adjust it here. So $13.95 and $14.48. Right there, and $14.48 up here. So the high of the post market. So we had earnings and we had okay day. It bounced above that 50 simple moving average, and we had buyers take it up with higher than normal volume. If we close above this, it could be potentially bullish to come back up here, again, test this simple moving average up here. Or if it breaks down below, we could be going back down, testing that 1348 and down here, 1300 area. So definitely keep it on watch, especially this is a higher price stock, so it could have that big true range throughout the day. Ah, you're going all over. Where are you a trucker, Rom? Oh, Rendezvous Ribs. Love me some Rendezvous. I miss Memphis. That's where I went to college. All right, so I got distracted with the ribs. And Huey's Burgers. Love Huey's too. And Corky's buttered rolls. All right, okay, let's go and look at Netflix. So Netflix, right? Everyone else is competing. Amazon is coming out now. There was somebody else that was coming out. So this, again, it spiked, and now we're seeing a bit of a resistance. Again, do you guys even see it here on this 45-minute chart? Look at this, 1, 2, 3 days where it went sideways. So to me, all that price action going sideways means, hey, somebody is creating a position in this, right? It's not done moving potentially yet. They haven't made that move, but if it goes below 432, potential move down. Goes above 442, potential move up, right? We are up at the top, had earnings, came back, tested it, could move up. Like if we break that 442, we'll likely see 500. If we go back down below 430, we'll likely see 400 again. So keeping it on watch as we're increasing. Look at the volume. The volume is decreasing, right? We're getting into oversold on the stochastics here. So it's not necessarily ready yet, but keep it on watch. Spokane, Washington. I have been to Washington. I actually ran a marathon there. I was the #2 winner in a marathon up there for Puget Sound. All right, so Disney. You guys can see I did a little bit of pre-work here already on Disney. I covered it on Friday in Ticker Talker. We are up above this box. You guys can see it. So we had that box of consolidation or distribution, and we'll go ahead and put this down here. So you guys could look at them more on a swing time frame and say, hey, all right, if I want to get into this, then I want to see that it's going to hold that area of 108, right, as a support. We had earnings, it dropped down, came down, and it tested that lower area of the box right here. I want this to go away. And now we come back up. Are we going to test that 112 area? We could, but again, a big position and went nowhere for roughly a month, right? April 8th to May 8th. That was a month, but we're above it right now. So really want to see, hey, if we break that 112 area, yes, this could go back up. Otherwise, if we're just continuing to go sideways and we don't go anywhere for a couple days, not above 112, not below 98, someone is laying a position and they're not ready to move it yet, right? So just keep it on watch. You could definitely day trade it as well. Here are some levels to look at. 107.20 as support and 109.80 as resistance. And final one for potential short. And you guys know I say potential short or potential long because the market's going to really determine the move, right? We're not in control of it. The market is. You can see here, PayX had a double bottom too, right? Now triple. Came down and tested it. So are there going to be as many buyers down there? We don't know. And this area was resistance in the past, and now it flipped to be support. As soon as it came up above, it dropped back down. So for paychecks, other thing I'm thinking with paychecks, try not to take too much into consideration, but we are above the 50 simple moving average. It opened up above and came back down, closed at it. We've had 2 days of higher volume. Doji Day closed below that Doji Day with higher volume, but it has not broken that 50 simple moving average yet. With paychecks, we're at 16% unemployment in the States. How many of their customers are using paychecks, right? The number, I don't know, do they pay by the number of person, or is it just an overall fee that a company pays? But if a lot of companies, smaller companies that are using payroll services that don't have someone doing payroll on hand, you know, maybe their clientele is dropping off as well. So just on the side note. So paychecks for support looking at 67 and then 68.40 for resistance. Now I do have some potential long swings on here, looking at Fiverr, right? So Fiverr had its IPO and it had earnings, broke out above, and this is lower float with roughly, I think it's 3 million. Let's check it out over here. So Fiverr International, you got to think about it. This is a gig company, right? So, excuse me, 11 million in the float right there. So 11 million. And let's go here and let's see how many people shorted Fiverr on Friday and on Thursday. So 49% short on Thursday and 42% short on Friday. So more people are buying at the moment, right? So this could have that move to the upside. Set an alert up here, break alert of, you know, if you look at what happened to Beyond. Let's do a dual here. Let's go to Beyond, daily. Oh, let's get rid of all this. All right. So we go back and we look at Beyond. What happened when Beyond broke out, right? Beyond had 20 million when it broke out here at 107. And then it shot up and it doubled. Now, how many days did it take it to double from this breakout zone right here, right? So here to here, that was 49 days for it to double up to 240. And then it pulled back down. And that's a lower float, right? They can move in incredible rates daily. They can have amazing ranges, but as quickly as it went up, it also came right back down, right? It's like a perfect bell curve here, actually, if you guys look at it. So it came up and then came back down, and now it went up and came back down, and now it's in that upward swing again. So this could have that motion again to the upside. That momentum is moving up. Hey, Asif. You know what? I have never used Jason Bond's service, but I've heard a lot of people say something that they also say about Ross, that they are master marketers, much like Timothy Sykes. There is value in what they're selling, but sometimes it has to be taken in by somebody that has more experience. Like the penny stocks, Tim Sykes does a great job with penny stocks, but with all trading, you guys need to study and learn it. It's not going to be anything that's quick like this, where you go and all of a sudden it's like, hey, let me go ahead and rock the market today, and I've never traded before. It's going to take time to learn and study. With Ross Cameron's momentum stocks like these, the lower float, you have to be very quick. As quickly as they go up, they go down. And it can be devastating for a newer trader that doesn't know what they're doing. They don't understand the concept of why it's going up. They just see the potential dollar signs. So looking at the risk overall is very important in getting started. Beyond is a little bit, Fiverr is a lower float one. Let me go further with some other ones, because I have some other potential swings for you guys. So we have Arch as well, another one that had big volume here and big volume coming up to the 50 simple moving average. So if it breaks above here, this might go up to 44. Nice potential $12 move. That's where the moving average is. It's also where the high was here, 40, and then on up to that 44 range. Let's also look at Woozy. So here's one for you, Asif, that's not quite so expensive. It did come up, and you can see it hit this pink moving average in the past, and it sold off. So this might have potential move to the downside. It is earnings. I would not recommend, none of these are really my recommendations, but all my opinion, but trading over earnings can be a gamble. So this is really far away from the moving averages. It is higher risk at the moment. Let's check out Woozy's short volume as well. I like to look at that. That's the volume that's been reported from the day prior. So as it's been going up, the short volume's been going up as well. And if we go to shortsqueeze.com and we go to Woozy, see the number of shares, 29 million. So that could have a big run to it, again, if it squeezes above here. So I'll just put an alert. Hey, let's see if that's going up, right? Could run up, it could come up here, test up at that 4.34 area and then on up to the $5 range. So it could have $2.20 to the upside potentially. All right, so let's look at net element. Net element is one that also does have that potential to move to the upside. I kind of see an upside down head and shoulders here. It's breaking to the upside there, and go here. Looks like that resistance might lie up here for that next target up at 280. So potential move up there. It tested it once and then it sold off. If you guys want to learn about these moving averages, we talk about them all the time in the training pits. And then last one is Funko. So Funko, look at this nice downward trend here, right? So we've got here, whoops, I didn't want to have that solid line. Let's remove that trend line here. Right? Look at where we are. We're just at the point of testing. It had earnings, higher than normal volume, above the 50 simple moving average, all these cool things that could have this one coming on up, testing the moving averages, and then potentially if we break 970, a nice gap, $4 gap to the upside. And let's go back here. Let's look, and Funko has 16 million. So that one is lower float and could have a big move to it. So keep it on watch. Those are all that I have for this week. Do you guys have yeah, I try to stay away from those super really rapid ones, but you can see there's some like beyond that could have that massive move coming. Fiverr as well could have that massive move coming. You mean 10,000 in an account, ASIV? You don't necessarily want to risk more than 5% on one trade because you want to be in the arena of sticking around. And if you are going to risk everything on a trade and that trade goes against you, you could wipe out 50% of your account. Say if you bought this at $5 and then it drops back down the moving averages, you've lost $1, you've lost 20% of your account, right? So you want to be very aware of that. That's why sometimes with larger price stocks or higher price stocks like Beyond Meat, you might buy the same value, which is going to be a lower number of shares. However, if you have that higher range of daily range, I covered it in my risk management video, that you'll see that it's less risk, because if you were to have 5 shares of this versus 200 shares of the other one, you could make more money if this one goes to $60 in one day than losing 20-30 cents on the other one, if that makes sense to you. So that is going to be pretty much it, unless you guys have any other questions for going forward with the week. Is there anything you guys have questions on? Just waiting. Sometimes there's a delay. My little ones are still asleep. So here is the list as well for you guys, so you guys can see it. And I also post it on my Instagram as well, so you guys can check it out there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Don't forget to call your mom or any of your friends that are moms, especially in this time of quarantine. Just reach out, send some love, and have a great day. All right, thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. If you guys tune in at 12:45, I'll be on Ticker Talker TV. All right, have a great week ahead, and see you guys soon. Bye.